1962. Sandy Panzarella and myself and Ron were renting a house together, and Lee paid us a visit one time. He stuck a big knife into the middle of our kitchen table and got everybody's attention.
He came down and stayed at our place on a couple of occasions, and I got to know him well enough to know I didn't like him.
Unsolved, a Nancy Drew production. Tonight's episode, Arthur Leigh Allen Timeline.
Unsolved Act 1. Leigh Allen transferred to San Luis Obispo University in 1955, and he was a very good diver on the swim team. But for some reason he left school and he went into the military. And then when he was in Vallejo, he had a little run-in with Ralph Spinelli in 1958. But Arthur Leigh Allen returned and graduated in 1960. And around this time, in the early 1960s, is when he was friends with Don Chaney, who lived in Pomona, California, in Southern California. And here's a picture of Don Chaney at Cal State Polytech in Pomona. Here's another picture of him in 1961. Unsolved Act 2. After graduating college in 1960, Arthur Leigh Allen got his first teaching job, 4th grade. And something that I learned from doing the research on this, on Arthur Leigh Allen, is he was really into cars and really into driving around. He went all over California. He was in Southern California, he was on the Central Coast, and he was in Vallejo, in that area. And he was also in the Sierra Nevada mountain range for several years. Unsolved Act 3. Now, taking a look at this graphic, this is the places that Arthur Leigh Allen lived. In 1956, he lived in the dorm at San Luis Obispo University. And then he left and went into the military. And then he returned back to San Luis Obispo and finished college in 1960. And then he got a job teaching. And there, at that point, he purchased the trailer. And he was living at a trailer park in 1961 or 62. In San Miguel, California. Then in 1963 he left and he went to the trailer park Trade Winds in Vallejo, California. And then when he got his teaching job at Springs Elementary, he moved there. And then after that, after he lost that job, and I guess he got another job in Santa Rosa, and he lived there. In this trailer here, I'm taking a guess. This is the trailer that he had in San Miguel, and then he moved it to Vallejo, and it was there, and then he moved it again to Santa Rosa in 1972, or around that time. Unsolved Epilogue. If you look at the dates of the Zodiac letters, you can see they start a few years after Arthur Leigh Allen lost his teaching credential and lost his job. And they continued through the Zodiac years until about 1971, 72. And that's when he moved to Santa Rosa in the trailer there. And then they pick up in 1974. And then after that is when he got arrested and was in a Atascadero imprisonment. And then they picked up where there's one last letter in 1978. Well, this ends this episode of Unsolved, and I'll see you next weekend.